Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about the 20 people who weren't charged in Fulton County, even though the special grand jury recommended that they be charged. This, I think, is seismic news. So you'll recall the special grand jury that Fani Willis appointed sat for some 7 months, heard from 75 plus witnesses. We had known from that kind of 15-minute tour by the foreperson that they had contemplated many indictments. We had no idea till this morning about what that meant, right? The indictment itself, 19 people. They recommended indicting 39 people, including one sitting senator and two former senators. As earth-shaking as the Fulton County indictment has been, this would have been cosmos shaking, just a whole different order of magnitude that would have absolutely convulsed the entire national political landscape. All right, starting with Senator Lindsey Graham. You'll recall maybe that Graham, he was subpoenaed to testify. He fought it as much as he could, took it up to the Supreme Court, but lost. So he had to give testimony. He testified for a couple hours. We don't know what he said, but we do know some of the controversial things he did. And basically they were of a piece, or at least supported and coalesced what Trump and Meadows and everyone were doing with Raffensperger. Graham makes a couple calls that he tries to recharacterize after the event as just kind of investigative and understanding what's going on, but they are easy, almost difficult not to read as the application of pressure on state officials, and not even, in fact, the state where he is senator, this being South Carolina. In fact, Raffensperger himself testified that he felt pressured by Graham. And when you read about the call and you place yourself in Raffensperger's shoes, it's not too hard to see. And Graham, in fact, has this mode. Remember him in the Kavanaugh hearings, where he comes out bare teeth and savage nearly. It's, I think, pretty clear why the special grand jury wanted to charge him. Why didn't Fani Willis charge him in the event? We'll get to that in a moment, because first, the who's who of what weren't charged. Former senators, but then senators in January 2021, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. They were really sort of all in on the project of upending Biden's vote and installing Trump. And they were kind of ringleaders. Loeffler had her own effort to, in addition to the other Republicans who were at least willing to vote in that direction. But she was an active sort of beater of the bushes to try to make this happen. She could have been indicted if they'd followed the special grand jury recommendation. David Perdue could have been invited if they'd followed it. Other figures we've been focused on the whole time. How about Michael Flynn, the strange bedfellow of Trump from the very beginning of the Trump administration, when he's playing footsie with Russians and then lying about it. And he actually, from even before the Trump administration, kind of abandoned his reputation as a solid military man and was just this lock her up, jingoistic Trump fanatic. Well, he stayed involved all the way through, and in almost a kind of shadow way, with the sort of Willard Room war group that had some of the more dodgy figures there. They almost indicted Michael Flynn. Boris Epshteyn, the lawyer that everyone loves to hate, He is what caused other lawyers, so we've learned recently, to quit because he's so overbearing. He also was really all in on, unscrupulous actions. Special grand jury wanted to invite him. Ditto Trump lawyer Cleta Mitchell, who was out front with all kinds of lies. So, these 20 now have dodged bullets, and the sort of contemplation of the parallel universe is mind-bending of how much more seismic and just totally convulsing of the political landscape this could have been. So what happened? First of all, the special grand jury is adamant in its report in saying these were the recommendations we wanted to make. It's not, as lore would have it, that we were just spoon-fed all these folks by the prosecutors. We heard from people. We made our own judgments, including when prosecutors were out of the room. These were the people we thought should be charged. Okay, there'll be a debate about whether that's so, but what happened after? I think the story is going to emerge that this is not the real grand jury declining to indict the other 20, at least considering it all and coming to a different judgment, but rather the actions of the Fani Willis's office decisions, and this gives a little better vantage point on what was taking so long, not to go after Graham, Loeffler, Perdue. You can see that, already they're biting off so much. Do you want to go for senators and to put it in a more flattering light? Maybe these are principled judgments that the conduct, while a little bit assailable, a little bit dishonest, doesn't cross the line of criminality. That could be. What about Michael Flynn? We'll find out. Has seen by many people's lights to be really in the thick of it. Same with Cleta Mitchell, but obviously individualized determinations were made. So I think this is going to be, put at the feet properly of the DA. Now you can see it in a couple different ways, right? I mean, one way of looking at it is, yay, Fani Willis. She's coming out of the gate, been very strong and tough with the people she has indicted. If you didn't see it, the letter she sent back, the blistering letter to Jim Jordan, who was trying to completely improperly monkey in her this investigation and decisions from the perch of a federal House of Representatives member. You can see she's really forceful about the decisions she has made. So in a like manner, you might say this is a prosecutor really exercising discretion responsibly. On the other hand, you can look at this and remember, this is just one local district attorney and think, wow, this is quite a sort of reminder of the power of an individual district attorney, as great as it's been with in the actual charges Fani Willis has brought. It could have been yet much, much, much broader. And maybe this gives rise to reflections or pause about a theme that is clearly going to be playing out in the pretrial motions about the appropriateness, even constitutionality. There'll be some challenges you can expect of a local DA going after a former president. Now, there's no reason in the constitutional structure that forbids it, I think, unless the courts sort of frame one. On the other hand, it's sort of, you got to catch your breath when you realize what this could have meant. It's meant a lot, but man, oh man, Lindsey Graham, Kelly Loeffler, David Perdue, and would have been so stunning. And then, of course, we just want to know what let Michael Flynn, off. And finally, a very intriguing question. Are any of these folks, they knew they testified, maybe they knew they were in jeopardy, are any of these 20 people who are not charged, not because of individualized determinations of guilt and innocence, but because they showed up and are cooperating. Is Michael Flynn, for example, who sure seems like his conduct might have merited charges along with so many, now a cooperating witness for Fonnie Willis, and is she holding that card very close to her vest? So much to unpack and unwind and learn about from this really long, interesting, and kind of mind-blowing when you think about the implications of what could have been report from the special grand jury. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.